In autumn 2013, Bohol Island was struck by two natural disasters within a month. An earthquake measuring 7.2 on the Richter scale and a super typhoon. Together, they caused more than 10,000 deaths. The Zabalketa Association and its local partner in the Philippines, the Philippine Center for Civic Education and Democracy, PCCED, decided to launch an emergency aid program following the disasters to meet the public's most pressing needs.
Anaay mga courtesy calls sa mga municipal mayors o anaay mga coordination meeting sa atong Municipal Social Welfare Development Office sa pagpangayo sa mga lista sa mga barangay nga naapektuhan. Base sa resulta sa maong assessment form, didto tan-awon kung unsa nga intervention. Is it partially damaged, totally damaged, or nagkinahanglan lang og latrin o uban pa?
From the outset, support was offered to families in rural areas who had lost their homes and had scarce resources or abilities with which to rebuild them. The families took part in the organized construction of new homes using local materials. Each neighborhood, known in the local language as barangays, formed a committee of 5 to 6 families to help one another.
Sa pagtukod nga aning bayan, nakita na ho nga ang pagkabayanihan spirit kay both sides sa family is nag-isig. Tabanganay sila nga mahuman og tukod ang among bike kay within 2 weeks nahuman ra pod siya. Salamat sa isig tabanganay.
As well as this, provisional classrooms were built for primary, secondary, and nursery school children in the barangays, and they were equipped with boards and teaching materials. This meant that classes could resume as soon as possible while waiting for assistance from the Provincial Department for Education with which to reconstruct the concrete buildings that had been destroyed. The emergency aid also helped to repair the health centers and equip them with first aid kits containing basic instruments, dressings, and general use medicines. The community's productive network also needed to be repaired and the local economy stimulated, so that the families could start making their own income and ensuring their food security. With this aim, fishing families were provided with new small-scale fishing boats and equipment, while farming families received seeds, fruit trees, and tools.
Kini nakahatag og kadasig sa hiniusa, dinalian ug abtik nga pagresponde sa pagtubag dili lamang sa mga katawhan kundi sa gobyerno, sa pribado nga sektor, sa national, local o international nga NGOs para sa dinalian nga pag-identify, pag-prioritize ug paghatag sa pundo para pagresponde sa mga panginahanglan.
Over the 2 years following the disasters, Zabalketa and the PCCED helped a total of approximately 18,000 people, thanks to financial aid from the Basque government, several municipal councils in the Basque country, other NGOs, associations, companies, and individual donors. Following the humanitarian aid intervention, work in the region has focused on helping to reduce and prevent natural disaster risks, including the gender perspective in all actions. This is a task that requires the coordinated work of stakeholders on various levels: national, regional, municipal, and the barangay level. In the barangays, disaster risk management committees were created and received specific training on the causes of natural disasters, measures to protect the public and minimize the damage caused, and the relevant legislation on the matter. There has also been an emphasis on the need to care for and protect the natural environment, which provides not just food and raw materials, but also protection, climate regulation and enjoyment.
Mao nga ang Bohol matag karon og unya nagpahigayon og mga clean up gikan sa clean up ngadto sa mga dili lang sa coastal kundi ngadto sa mga kabaranggayan along the riverbanks ug mga highways ug diha usab sa mga kanal.
The social leaders and authorities in each barangay have not only been trained, but also designed disaster risk reduction plans. To do so, they drew risk maps and identified the human and material resources they can use to tackle those risks. The participation of various sectors and population groups was key to collecting a range of perspectives. On the basis of that information, risk reduction and management plans were designed with specific measures to reduce vulnerability to implement within a 5-year period.
Aduna kami gihimong schedule sa among activities nga outline sa amoang plano. Sama sa pag-repair sa kalsada, pagbutang og street lights, paghimo og pagbutang sa mga signages sa mga lugar nga delikado.
Unya ang 5% niini atong gigahin sa disaster preparedness para sa kung ugaling dunay mga kalamidad nga modangat dinhi sa ato ang barangay.
Some of these financial resources are being used to repair and adapt public buildings so that they can be used as evacuation centers. That is to say, safe and nearby shelters that families can go to in an emergency.
Din karon, anaan ay ongoing construction nga evacuation center, anaan ay kompleto nga facility with separate room para sa mga vulnerable sector, ilabi na sa mga PWDs, mga pregnant women, ug anaan na sab kini para sa mga breastfeeding. Anaan na sab kini separate nga comfort room para sa men and women ug para sa mga PWDs with access ramps para dili sila maglisod pag sulod.
The contingency plans that were also designed consist of action protocols for before, during, and immediately after an emergency situation occurs. With these precise instructions, men and women on the risk committee know, for example, when and how they need to warn the public, and what rescue and first aid equipment they need to have ready. In addition, the rescue training they have done with experienced professionals means they can act quickly and safely in an emergency situation. In the Basque Country's vocational training centers, students have analyzed the consequences of natural disasters that affect barangays in the Philippines using the challenge-based learning method. Working in teams, they design proposals that may help reduce the people's vulnerability. Through this, healthcare emergency students devised a first aid manual for preschool pupils, which has been translated into English and is already in use in Bohol Island schools. For other stages of education, the students focused on analyzing social and environmental problems such as gender inequality and biodiversity loss, and they proposed activities on a local level to combat them, taking the cultural, geographical, and economic context into account.
El reto que hacemos con Zabalketa se apoya en experiencias reales, se apoya además en países lejanos por un lado, pero que ellos también pueden aplicar un objetivo, un enfoque global y local, o local, resumiéndolo, que es pensar globalmente pero actuar localmente. Y entonces la acción local al final también tiene repercusiones globales y lo que aquí hacemos de alguna manera puede ser útil trasladarlo a otros lugares y otras realidades, y lo que allí también hacen a nosotros nos puede servir de reflexión.
These activities at the center aim to create critical awareness among young people and promote local action in defense of human rights and caring for the planet.
Tokiko ekintzetan parte hartzea aukera bat izan da guretzat. Ez bakarrik aldaketa bat sustatzeko, baita jendea sentsibilizatzeko ere.
Yo creo que los jóvenes deberíamos implicarnos más, dar nuestra opinión, saber lo que está pasando al final a nuestro alrededor.
Desde nuestro punto de vista es fundamental la implicación activa de la juventud, porque realmente son las generaciones que ya en unos pocos años van a tener que tomar decisiones. Entonces, que asuman ellas y ellos un rol activo es fundamental.